Hello, my name is Karen Gondoli, and today I want to talk about a topic that I'm hearing a lot about these days, which is how do I migrate off of VMware vSphere? Perhaps you, like many people, are not particularly happy about the Broadcom acquisition of VMware. And so, if you want to migrate off of that, one thing that we've seen people adopting is OpenStack. And the great thing about OpenStack is it is a cloud-based infrastructure, so you can migrate off of VMware vSphere and build your new infrastructure out of OpenStack, and that is all very doable. Now, what if your VMware infrastructure is running VDI, however? Now it's not just about migrating the infrastructure, it's also about migrating the access. And what we have seen in many of these vSphere environments is that the access is being controlled by either Horizon, now owned by Omnissa, or by the Citrix solution that's out there. And that includes and controls your authentication workflows for your users. It's doing all the session brokering to the desktops, handling power states, provisioning, protocol. All of this comes with that Horizon or Citrix. But now, if you've taken your vSphere and you've migrated that infrastructure to OpenStack, now what do you do? Because while there might be solutions out there to hook Horizon and Citrix into OpenStack, they are, I've noticed, maybe in beta or kind of require these complicated setups. And it just really doesn't make sense if you're moving to a private cloud infrastructure such as OpenStack to take those solutions with you. So, but if you don't, what do? You have failed user logins, you don't have somebody in the broker sessions. How do you solve the access problem when you're changing your infrastructure? Well, OpenStack, as we mentioned, it's great for the infrastructure. It can support provisioning of instances. It scales nicely like all these clouds. But what do you do to assign desktops to users, to manage their sessions over the whole life cycle until they disconnect or log out, and then to automate the mapping of users to resources? Well, for that, you decouple your infrastructure from your access control plane, and instead of trying to wedge Horizon or Citrix into OpenStack, you use the LeoStream platform. Our platform supports both vSphere and OpenStack via an API integration, and that gives you very strong provisioning. It gives you power control over the instances. And what you can do is manage them side by side in this single plane of control, which is the LeoStream access, so that you can authenticate users using your existing authentication methods that would authenticate them into LeoStream, and then you can redirect users slowly over time as you build out your OpenStack infrastructure from your VMware VDI instances over to the OpenStack. And there's a number of ways that you can do this within LeoStream so that you can do it over time, all at once, whatever suits your needs, so that you get this seamless end user experience. And users don't need to know that they're moving off of one hypervisor to another. But what they do need is seamless access so that they're always productive and able to get to the compute resources they need to do their jobs. So, just kind of quickly, what would this look like in a LeoStream environment? Well, this is the LeoStream connection broker here. And before I log in as an admin, I'm going to come to this tab and just log in as an end user. And this is purely the way I've set up my pools right now. So I say I am getting access to a machine that's actually running on VMware. And I'll go back to the admin portal and show you that that is actually true. But I named the pool this so you could see here coming up how next time I log in, I'm going to go somewhere entirely different. And I didn't even notice. So here now, if I go to the admin portal, you'll see here, if I go into the setup sections, go to centers, in my LeoStream environment, I'm managing both my VMware vSphere environment as well as my OpenStack cloud. And I do that just by creating centers. So for example, with OpenStack, will use the Keystone, I believe it's called, API, and you can tell us which projects you want to manage. If you have multiple projects, create multiple centers, all works very seamlessly in LeoStream. Now, LeoStream is not going to be part of your image management. You'll need to take your images that you're using for provisioning from vSphere, reconfigure them on OpenStack, install LeoStream agents on them, maybe a different display protocol. We're here to help you as you work through that process. But once you have that infrastructure again all built up, then managing the access is seamless within LeoStream, because now I have my two infrastructures here and what I can do in configuration. is I can create different pools. Here I happen to have pools, which is everything in my VMware environment or everything in my OpenStack environment. And that's kind of an organizational helpful thing for me. And then I've created these subpools, and you'll see this happens to be the name of the pool that I was offered prior. So here I have some virtual machines that are hosted in my VMware environment, and those are what my end users are currently getting access to. I created another pool here for my OpenStack machines, which is what I'm going to migrate them to going forward. So how do I do that? Now, you'll notice there's these things we call plans. So if you need to change how users are connecting to their OpenStack machines, whether that's you want to use RDP or perhaps you want to try Amazon DCV, TGX, you have a number of options, but you will need to migrate from BLAST or from HDX to a new display protocol. So you'll create the protocol plan for that. You can create rules for managing power control, managing session life cycles, such as disconnecting users on idle. And then what you'll do is you'll come in here in policies, and you'll notice here's where I'm going to start migrating my users from a VMware assignment policy to an OpenStack assignment policy. So if I look just at these, the VMware policy is offering users one desktop from the VMware pool, while the OpenStack assignments pool is offering the users one desktop from the OpenStack pool. And obviously, if you have different groups of users, there's a number of different ways you can do this. You can have multiple policies. You can switch up the pools within the policies. We, again, can help you define the configuration that will ease your migration. But again, the key is from the end user's point of view, they don't see all that going on in the background. So here I go to assignments. I logged in through my LeoStream Active Directory. Here you'll see I was assigned the VMware policy. Oops. The next day I'm going to come in and I'm going to be assigned the OpenStack policy. So on the day 2, I log in, and all of a sudden I'm getting a machine that's coming from the OpenStack pool. I can power control it just like I can the VMware machines. I can launch it once it's powered on. But again, for me, I named this pool OpenStack because I wanted you to see that it's coming from somewhere else. But you can name your pools between your different environments the exact same thing. You can offer these machines by desktop names. You have control over what the end user sees here, so you can make it completely seamless and invisible for them. So if you are thinking about trying out OpenStack, or you just want to migrate from a VMware vSphere environment to any other type of platform, we support a wide range of them. You can learn all about it by contacting us at info@leostream.com. Thank you.